One, two, one, two. It's the Raw BX story. "26-year veteran in this game called trucking." Let's get into it. We're going to talk about growing up in the Bronx. How he overcame prison and living with a felony. We're going to talk about that too. Listen, we're going to chop it up about a little Forex, cryptocurrency, the stock market. We're about to get into this right here, man. It's the All Zoned In Show. Let's get it, man. Let's bring the homie in, man. Talk about it. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, enjoying this weekend off, man. I got the weekend off. Just kind of, letting it marinate a little bit, man. Getting ready for Easter, man.
Man, I forgot it was Easter.
Well, you don't celebrate Easter, bro?
I mean, honestly, to me, it's not that I don't celebrate it. You know, when your kids was younger, you celebrated it because of that. As an adult, I can't say that I, celebrate it. You know what I mean? A lot of the holidays I celebrate only because of, honestly, because of kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I got you, man. But yeah, we've been trying to do this for a minute. I've been trying to put this together for a minute, man. So let's get into it, man. You know, we gotta get this weekend on its way, man. This is the All Zoned In Show. I do interviews, I do content on YRC Freight. I do a lot of content, but I'm trying to switch it up a little bit. We're gonna get out the trucking space just a tad bit. So let's get into this, man. What was it like growing up in the Bronx, man, back in the 80s and 90s, bro?
man, it's obviously it's a lot different than what it is now. You know, if anybody ever looked at the pictures of all the abandoned buildings, like I grew up in the South Bronx. A lot of people they'd be like, oh, the South Bronx. Like, I live in the heart of the South Bronx, 161st Street, 170, 169, from by the projects and everything. So, back then we didn't have a lot. We young kids running around just like in any other part of the town. But ours was a little different. We running in abandoned buildings, stuff like that, playing tag, all the innocent things you do as kids. Because back then, crack and all of that really didn't hit the streets yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 73 baby. So I grew up in the heart of basically, when this dude's being written back then. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just like a lot of us fallen friends, soldiers or whatever, you know what I mean? So then me growing up without a mother or father, like I don't know my father. I never seen a picture of him. I don't know what he looked like. Nothing. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying? So you could put a picture in front of me right now, be like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? So my mom dropped me off at my grandmother's house when I was like 6, 7 years old, like, yo, here, and
Wow.
growing up back then, I'm a Hispanic male, Puerto Rican male. Me, you, a couple of guys on the phone, we talk about, oh, Puerto Ricans is, black or this and that. Like, I get the content of what people are saying, but when you
Right.
grew up in the early 80s, there wasn't a lot of Hispanic. So I naturally gravitated to African Americans, the black guys on the block. Spanish guys
Right.
was over here. So for me, I had that battle of oh, he's trying to be black or he's this or you know what I mean? So
Right.
and that's just what I grew up in, unfortunately,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Wow. So I mean, what was going on around you? I mean, we have choices in life. So what made you gravitate to the streets? You know what I'm saying? Like you could have
Well,
stayed in the projects, and fell
yeah, well,
back. Uh-oh.
yeah, well, unfortunately, like for me, so My grandmother was the street person. She knew no English, spoke no English, but she ran a bar on Claremont on 169, and also she also back in the day they had like the motorcycle cruise. She was like a part of that. So
Wow.
um, growing up with that, and then from my understanding, my father was, you know, he was murdered because he was part of the mob. It was a hit out on him. And it was funny because probably like 6, 7 years ago, I actually found out where he was murdered at. And it's actually one of the blocks I used to hang out on Watson and 183rd in the Bronx in front of the store. He was sitting in the car, he was murdered. So like unfortunately, like with my family, it's just that's just what it was. My mom's, no education, never had a
Wow.
job. She was a street person. Unfortunately,
Gotcha.
she died at a young age, at around 46 years old.
Wow.
So you know what I mean. So it's kind of not to say that was kind of embedded, but it's almost like having no choice, right? So you think of a young kid who goes to school has nobody to kind of like guide them in the right way. But then you got
Gotcha.
dudes in the streets. And think about it, back in the 80s, it's different than now. If you ain't fight, you ain't come outside. Because,
Right.
all
So
we
so
did
so
was
you
snap
had
on
to,
each other. So you would just fight. You either got beat up, came back outside, and fought another day. So
right.
that all just starts, you know what I mean? You 9, 10 years old fighting. Like,
Yeah, bullying was normal back then, man. I can attest to
you,
that, man. Bullying was
it's so
normal,
funny.
man.
And it's funny you say that because, right, bullying was like we don't think of it now, but that's what it was. You used to snap on somebody if they
Right.
didn't have nice clothes and all that. But that
Right.
dude, you snap on him, but he could fight. So now you got to show and
Exactly.
prove. You talking mess out. Y'all go over there, fight. You get your little one on one, and you know what I mean. So that's what it was, man. But at the same time, it was a lot of innocence, right? We played tag. We played manhunt. We did dumb
Mm.
stuff like throw bottles and shit off the tunnels and shit at
Right.
cars, like thinking it was funny. We don't know
Right.
no better. Playing in the tag, acting like you
Right.
you had a girlfriend and y'all was married at 10, 11 years old, junior high school. You know
Right.
what I mean? So that's kind of really what it was, man. It was more innocent until your teenage years when, like, and I don't say this to brag or anything, but I did my first robbery at like 9, 10 years old. Told my moms,
Wow.
all my mom said was be safe. And that's a
Wow.
true story. Like she's like, just be safe. I got my first Atari doing a robbery at like 9, 10 years old. Came home with an
Wow.
Atari. My grandmother probably almost knocked me in the head, but I was with my grandmother at the time. You know what I'm saying? Talking to my mother, because she still come by and stuff like that, but she was just like, "Yo, be safe." So you gotta think of it like that, and it's not. We sometimes we blame our parents, but sometimes our parents don't know any better if that's just the life that they chose. My grandmother
Right.
and mother,
Right.
the only person I had to look up to that was doing anything decent was my uncle, who was in the Marines, and then my aunt, who ended up finished college, who actually me and her's close now. She's actually like my aunt and my sister's the only people that I have alive right now. Just from the people that I used to live in an apartment with. You talk about six
Wow.
people in an apartment, 2 bedrooms, 4 people in one room, and well, five of us. It was five of us: me, my aunt, my cousin, my sister, my aunt, and then two other cousins who stayed in the living room. So you talk about 7 people in a 2 bedroom apartment when we
Wow.
was young. And out of all of them, only my aunt and my sister's alive.
Wow, man. Yeah, that's an interesting story, man. I mean, did you ever get in any trouble while you were out there, or with the
Yeah,
law? I
yeah.
mean,
I
how did
told
that
you,
go?
man. I did my first robbery, like I said, 9, 10 years old. I
Man, I'm
remember
just
one
talking about
Easter.
did you have to pay any dues, as far as jail,
Well,
prison, you know?
it's funny, right? So at that age, a lot of things wasn't organized as it was later on in years. Like,
Right,
yeah, you get locked up on a Friday, you come home on a Monday. That's
right,
kind of how it was, and that's later on, like 16, 17 years old. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, I went to Taft High School in the Bronx, and I only went there for 1 year. After that, I got kicked out. I went to another high school. The first day there, we got into a fight. Me and my man got kicked out of that school. Went to Morris High School there for like 2 months, got kicked out of there. So, and after that, it was just like pretty much, nigga, you going to a GED school. got kicked out of
Right.
there. So this is like
Wow.
17. So and it's crazy because I got kicked out of almost every school. My elementary school for fighting, junior high school for fighting, high school for
Wow.
fighting. But that's all we did really back then. Like if you ain't fight, you was getting picked on or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? So then
Wow.
getting in and out, I didn't really get no major charges until later on as I got a little older, like 19, 20. Because what I used to have, they call it menacing. Like if somebody looked it up, like I had a bunch of menacing charges. That's you get into a fight on the block and you just the dumbass that got caught trying to run away. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you know, menacing
Wow.
charges and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So but after that, as we got older, high school, man, I grew up where Fat Joe and them was from, Terror Squad, digging in the crates, murder unit, like it's just everything was
Wow.
around us. So it's not but you could do it, but unfortunately get in trouble if you don't have
Right.
guidance. And we didn't have guidance, you know what I'm saying? And, like we just didn't. A lot of people look at things and they try to look at what people did back then and judge you, but how can you judge somebody if you wasn't there in their shoes? Because you know what they
Right.
try to say, oh y'all should have known better. At 18, come on man, hip hop and all that was going on and the streets was buzzing with, work, and that's when crack started really getting on the scene.
Right.
That was a whole nother thing. You got guys that try to act like they better than life. Oh well, they was destroying the community. Unfortunately, that's what we had to do to survive. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Man.
That
So
just not that it was right, but it
right.
just was a part of our life. You know what I mean? Now,
Yeah, that's
now
just
if you're
how.
doing that now as an older man or something, then yeah, you're an idiot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I could get with that, man, because I seen a lot of people. I can remember when crack first hit the streets. Well, I don't know if it was when it first hit the streets, but I remember it got kind of popular like 85, 86.
Right? Yeah.
I started seeing classmates, um 12, 13 years old, jewelry, a pocket full of money. Everybody had money. I mean, that's one thing I say about New York. It's not a badge of honor or anything special to sell drugs in New York. Like that way it was so, common and easy to do up there. So it wasn't like a
Yeah.
badge of honor, man.
Yeah. The average cat, was doing what they were. Even if you had the 8 ball, you was flipping. I mean, guys was just doing it. But it's funny because
Right,
you get guys now. They try to tell you what you should have did 20 years ago. You wasn't there. You
right,
can't tell another man or somebody what they should have did 20 years ago. Like you're looking through the lenses of now. You can't do that because things are different now. We have more opportunities now. Back then, we didn't have no opportunities. Like, come on. Like me coming
right,
home with a felony, like that hurted me for a while. I mean, I ended up getting my CDL and stuff like that. Even getting my CDL, I couldn't even get a job at first. The only reason I got a job was
right,
because somebody put me on. Like they looked out, like, yo, you know what? Yo, I got you. Once I got that experience, and as my time went on, I was able to get better jobs and stuff
right,
like that. You know what I'm saying? And I elevated. And I think I told Drew like, um, it could have been like 98, 99. Me and my man, may he rest in peace. We had 2 box trucks working for PC Richards. We was on
right,
our way. We was on our way to get our third one, but unfortunately, he was murdered on his birthday. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Sitting in the car, we all was leaving. We had pulled off, and it was on Tremont Avenue, and we had
wow,
pulled off. Thinking we all gonna meet up at the hour spot to get something to eat. We ain't think about nothing. All we
right,
know, shots rang off. We thinking it's somebody else. You know, hour, half hour later, son, we find out it was my man who I had the box trucks with. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't able
wow,
to sustain it because it was just a little different. And what's funny is trying to put your peoples on is what kind of like messed me up because
uh,
cats didn't want to work. But now, had I went and grabbed me some Mexicans back then, and I'm doing that, guess what? Oh, I'm a sellout because I'm putting somebody else on. But when I had dudes, niggas didn't want to carry you. Cause you talking about delivering
right,
refrigerators, TVs, up 4 flights. You know what I'm saying? Like tenement
right.
buildings and stuff like that. If you have that
Well,
run.
y'all was doing it, okay. Y'all was
Oh
doing
yeah,
it
yeah,
on a
yeah,
whole nother level, man. Man,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you say you did a little prison time, man. What was it like surviving in prison, man? Tell me the dynamics of surviving in prison, man. Like you're a
Man,
little fella, man.
it's funny, man. I hear a lot of guys on YouTube talking about prison, but the bottom line is, right, so if you're under 18, 17,
You froze
16
up,
in New
man.
York, huh? You hear me?
You froze up for a second. Go
Oh,
ahead,
okay.
man.
Yeah. So, there's it's different lives, right? So some cats get locked up when they're younger. You're in the adolescent jail. Being in the adolescent jail, yes, it's man wild and stuff like that. But a lot of times, those guys, if you get locked up 14, 15, do 5, 6 years or whatever, adolescent or whatever, you come home to a whole different mindset. You still probably trying to wow and trying to prove I came home, I was doing this. But the funny thing, I got locked up. I was considered an adult because I was over 19. So I was in the 3 building, C-73. Then when I went upstate, I went to Green. Then I went to a Max. I went to Comstock, which is a Max jail. And it's different, man. It's like you put it like this. I seen dudes that was weak on the island. They get upstate. They join the gang, the Latin Kings or whatever, BBK and stuff like that. All of a sudden, they're the toughest shit in the world. It's amazing, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you got guys. Now the thing about being in these Macs, you got guys that will look out for you, right? If they like you, like young and listen, man, they'll give you game, and that I got lucky like that. So, I remember when I was gonna get jumped over a TV. Me, my dumb ass. I'm sitting down, nigga, talking about changing the TV. Me, I'm still coming home hot headed and stuff like that. Fuck out of here, nigga. I'm sitting here. I'm in there by myself. You know what I'm saying? Nigga told me to go in the bathroom. So me not knowing, I went in the bathroom. But also me knowing, I put my back up against the wall so nobody come behind me. And the funny stuff was, 2 Spanish cats came in there. All of a sudden, like 3 black dudes came in there, and it was crazy because I'm thinking they was gonna tear me up. I just knew I was getting it, but I'm like, but that's what I could. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't do nothing. The wildest story, kid. The 3 black dudes came in there to make sure I got a fair one with the 2 Spanish dudes because they liked the way I moved around in the dorm. And this was when I was in Green. You know what I'm saying? And Green was wild. Anybody know about Green in 92, 93? Green in 94, because I left in the middle of 94. Green was wild. But now all of a sudden, these dudes is on my side. Now they don't want to fight. But me, I ain't gonna fight. Now I'm like, oh, these niggas got my back. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, long story short, that kind of like succeeded. But it was funny because I was a Spanish dude, and my cousin was in there at the time too. He actually got, they call lynch. He got lynched because he had stepped up for me, and I didn't want to join the Latin Kings. I just never believed in joining gangs because a lot of people talk about joining gangs, but not everybody in the gang is really about that life. Some niggas is in there for protection, and now they got to do things to stay, afloat with the gang mentality. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
and I just wasn't on it. And for me, the bad thing about me was, but not the bad thing, but the thing with me was because I was Hispanic, I didn't want to join the Latin Kings, and one of my cousins was in there. It was almost like I was a traitor. But all I hung around was the black dudes. So why would I join a gang with y'all? And I didn't even join a gang with them. I stayed pretty much neutral. I stayed pretty much to myself. I had a couple of cats, you know what I mean? But it's really how you make it at the end of the day, man. Back then, that was so long ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen stuff in there that you'd be like, you don't come into jail to lose your life, lose an eye. You know what I'm saying? Get poked up. Like I seen a lot of stuff in there, and that kind of made me like, all right, I gotta be on point. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta be on point, man. Wow. But yeah, that's an interesting story, man. I always, prison. I had a lot of friends that went to prison growing up, man. I had the fortune, my uncle snatched me up and took me up out of there, man. But knowing that you have a wife and kids, man, I can only assume you didn't go through this alone. So talk to me about just getting out of the streets and changing your life. Talk to me about your why, man. Like what drove you to just change your life around, bro? Because we got these young truckers, and a lot of them might have felonies, and they probably been to prison and think it's the end of the world. They might be high school dropouts. They might have a GED and think there's no hope for them. So talk to me about the dynamics of getting out of the streets, bro.
Yeah, man. I always say, man, I think for me, it was just having common sense, right? Because what do a lot of people say, right? What do they give the excuses of someone failing, right? They don't have no moms, they didn't have no dad, none of that, right? I'm here to tell you, I didn't really have a mom. You know what I'm saying? My mom's just a street person. I never knew my dad. To this day, I don't know. I don't have a picture of him. So we have to learn to stop using that as a crutch to be able to use that as an excuse. Because if you want change, you can have change. Yes, it is hard when you have a felony to come home. Absolutely. I don't care what nobody say. Even to this day, it's hard. But you still do have more opportunities now if you put your mind to it. Like the problem with our society is, especially now, is we feel we got to do things to like so much impress the next person. Listen, when you come home, you got a felony, get focused. Yes, you can't give up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the hardest thing. If you want
Right.
change, you cannot give up. Keep trying, whether it's a CDL, whether it's a warehouse job, whatever it is, you start somewhere. Once you start to make some sort of money and it's coming in, you good. If you find yourself a good woman, a girl or whatever, yeah, that's gonna help. Because I know me, like my wife now, we've been together 22, 23 years, been married like 16. And one of the things that she told me, she's like, if you get locked back up, I'm not coming to visit you or your kids. When I came
Mhm.
home, I had my son. I was moving a little bit, not wild, just little simple stuff and stuff like that. And and when she said that, you know, that made me think like, yo, all right, cool. I definitely want to see my son. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna have, you know what I mean, that like, and I think that really helps, man. But I mean, honestly, you have to want it. You have to not allow someone else's opinion of you to affect the way you move. Because a lot of times we get into that, right? I could be like, yo, big God, come on, man, you got that BS job, whatever. And now you over there thinking like, damn, maybe I need to get another job. But yet your whole job is
Right.
works for you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly,
we sit
bro.
there and do that all the time. Like we got all the stuff that's on these YouTube things, that stuff that people be doing and all that. It's like, come on, man. Like you just got to be able to think for yourself, man, and stay focused and not allow. I think the biggest thing is just not allow other people to make you feel like what you're doing isn't worthwhile because they might be doing something a little better. You know what I'm saying? Like you might be doing better than me, right? But if,
Right.
if, if a man ain't trying to pull you up to where he's at, then you really don't need to be in that man's circle. Like why? Why are you
Exactly.
sitting there allowing this man to tear you down or this person to tear you down? Like you could go back to the block and you go back to the hood, you go back to the block, you got cats talking, "Lord, nigga, what up? You know you doing this." But this is the same nigga that might be working a $10 hour job telling you a sellout or you doing this, bro. It don't make no
Exactly.
sense. You
Exactly,
know what I'm
man.
saying?
Listen, man, we talking to the homie Rob from the BX, man. Let me give a shout out, man. We got Toga in the building. We got J True Trucker. What up, brother? We got
Hmm.
Brandon Love Cash, man. He in the chat talking shit. We got the homie G Nut T Hill. We got Theo in the house, man. We got no weirdos allowed. What's going on, brother? We talking to the homie Rob from the BX, man. Let's get into this, man. Look, man, Rob, this is a trucking channel, man. I'm trying to get away from the trucking content. I don't know if anybody been paying attention, but this is a trucking channel. What is what it is, man. Listen, man. Let's talk about some trucking, man. Tell us about what led you to get your what led you to trucking, man. What led you to get your CDL, bro?
Hey, listen, I'm gonna put it to you simple as this. It was the only thing I could do without a college degree, high school diploma, even though I did end up getting my GED. and
Right.
stuff like that. And the way I always put it is, right, the trucking industry, and look, my math might be off, right? But 80, 90%, 70% of cats that was either in the streets don't have a higher form of education, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case is, but you can still make a living. So when I came home and I was on parole, I was working in a mortgage room, and this dude came to me, and I from get into an argument with, I hate to say it, was some white dude and stuff like that, and the dude came from Airborne Express, and he had a CDL, and he told me, "Yo, get your CDL." And I'm like, "Yo, you need like your, because I didn't know nothing. Like, you need a high school diploma, this and that." So I went and got my GED. I had already took it. It had came in. So when I passed, I'm like, "All right, cool." I didn't even have a driver's license. I went and got my license, my CDL in less than a year, and went, because I'm like,
Right.
"Yo, oh." And from there, it was no turning back. Like I said, I did have a problem because of my felony. I couldn't get certain jobs, but like I always say, and even in my hood, cats will tell you it's like 6, 7 dudes that got their CDLs because, matter of fact, my man you was on the phone with, he'll tell you he got his
Right.
CDL because of me. Straight official street dudes. Why? Because it's the one profession that you don't need a higher degree, you know what I mean? And
Right.
you can make money. Or, you know what I'm saying? Truckers, like, you get that dumb narrative, or company drivers don't make no money. Man, I was a company driver for like 23, 24 years. And, and I showed you everything I got. I'm on my third house. I got from being a company driver,
Wow.
saving and stuff like that. So, you know, that's why, man, your CDL for those. And I even encourage people now, man, when I see castles. Like, yo, get your CDL, man. You can start low, don't think you're gonna be at the cream of the crop, but you can start here. It's the one place that the average street dude could come in, make 90, 80 grand a year, 100 grand a year, and if you have a wife or a partner, you could live a very comfortable life. And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Company, you don't got to be no owner operator. You don't got to have your own authority. You could be a company driver and make money. You know what I'm saying? I think I told you this
Exactly.
before. Like, since when is $1,500 or $2,000 a week, not gross but net? Since when is that not no money? It's not no money
Exactly.
because you got some airheads trying to stick their chests out like they
Right.
getting money because you know what I'm saying? Okay, you got your
Yeah.
three, but some of y'all making more money and y'all still renting a damn one bedroom studio. I don't want to hear about your story. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you help someone elevate? Like, come on. Like, some of y'all quality of lives suck outside of trucking.
Oh man. Shots fired. Shots fired. Man, so I talk to a lot of people, man. I got I got nephews, cousins, in-laws, man, that I talk to, man. With one of my, what he told me, man. He said he ain't want to leave his kids, man. So tell me about raising kids, man, and driving a truck, man. How
Hey,
did you
listen.
manage that?
It's hard. Like, it's even if you're a local driver, right? Even if you're a local driver, it's hard. Why? Because if you've been in this trucking industry long enough, you know that in order to make good money, and I did garbage for like 15, 16 years. So my schedule was crazy. I was working overnight, like 8 to 8 in the morning, driving an hour home. My kids is in school. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna lie, it was hard, but it was a good balance because my days off, I made sure I spent with my kids. I mean, I come home after a 12, 13-hour day, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. My daughter's sitting at the table doing homework. I'm sitting there in my work clothes. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see what she's doing, talking to her real quick before I even go take a shower because she's doing homework. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was, on the weekends, I made sure I spent it with my kids. You know what I mean? So it's not an easy thing. So I can imagine how hard it is for the guys who did it and there was OTR.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not easy, but it could be done, and it's all about having a good balance with the person you're with, right? Like,
Exactly.
the problem with some cats is they want to work, come home, and then go party. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, they still want to be. in the streets or doing this. And it's cool if you still want to live your life like that. But when you want to settle down and you got kids, you got to make your kids a priority. If you make your kids a priority, it's gonna be you're gonna be fine. Like me, I have a great relationship with my kids. Why? Because I was there, and even when I wasn't, they knew I was working. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
took time, did our vacations or whatever. Like I said, there's plenty of times I come home, man, I'm tired as hell. But they sitting there, I try to talk to them, bug out, and and that's it. But if you wanna do it, you can do it. It's not easy. So whoever try to sit there and say, and like I said, I was a company driver for 15, 20 years, actually
Yeah.
longer, because I just started doing the leasing and all that like a year and a half ago again. So nah, it's hard,
Gotcha.
man, but it could be done if you want it. If you want it, you'll do it.
All right, yeah, I hear you, bro, man. It's all about that quality time, man. You gotta have that when you get home, especially if you're over the road, even local, man, because a lot of times you working 10, 12 hours a day. Sometimes, depending on what time you go to work, you might not even see your kids or wife, man. They might be asleep
Absolutely.
by the time you get home, or you might be asleep because you got to run at
Look,
night or whatever. Your schedules
look, I
might be
was
off.
working. I was working
Yeah,
6 days a week when I first started
yeah,
doing garbage. 6 days a week, from like Monday to like Saturday morning. I'll come home, sleep for 4 hours. All I got is Saturday and a little bit of Sunday because I had to go back
right.
to work Sunday night.
I
You know what I'm
hated
saying?
that. Yeah,
And that was the only way to get money. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
not only that, I was the lowest man on the total pole, so I had to work 6 days. So
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
schedule was crazy.
Yeah,
So
and the thing about that Sunday, yeah, like the only real day you get off is Sunday. But Sunday, your mind is on work. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to
yep,
get your clothes ready. You
yep,
got to work
go.
mindset, man. So yeah, it's definitely rough, man. So, but talk to me about let's drop some gems, man. Talk to me about keeping that CDL clean, man. Because a lot of people on YouTube, it's a couple of clowns on YouTube. They going down the road speeding, tailgating, playing like they just out here fighting. They really making trucking seem real exciting, way more exciting than what it really is when you get out here. It ain't that much action out here on this road. I'm sorry, man.
Nah,
But
you
talk to
know
me
what it
about
is.
keeping that
Honestly,
CDL
I
clean, bro.
think I think that comes with experience, right? Because I ain't gonna front. My first 3 years, like with my license, oh man, I used to be wilding, speeding, driving a box truck on wild. But I never seen a nigga drive a box truck like that. I mean, flying. I know I had like two. The only reason why my license didn't get revoked because I had two speeding tickets. Right, I had one in New York, then I had one that I had a lawyer fight, but I caught one in Jersey also. So because it was in a different state, it didn't affect me. But I had lawyers fighting both of them for like over a year till one fell off. So I think when you first get your license, I think that's like the learning curve. We just do dumb shit. But the quicker you learn to protect the license and do the right thing, the easier your career is going to be. Because, like
Exactly.
now, we be on the phone. I tell you, so I'm doing 66, 65. I don't care. Not even because of the diesel prices, just because I'm not speeding. I'm not doing that. If I lose my license right now and stuff like that, I can't replace my income that easily. It's no
Right.
way possible. I've been doing this to where I'm supposed to go to a warehouse or something. Like,
Exactly.
nah, no disrespect to warehouse workers, but I'm just saying, if I go do a warehouse job with 19, 20, $21 an hour, 18, $17 an hour, it's not gonna cover what I'm doing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Back to
So
flipping burgers, man.
right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
You
have two
know?
jobs. I gotta go swallow my pride, go do that. I will be working double harder than what I'm doing now to make the money
Exactly.
that I'm making. So
Exactly, man. My
God
thing
just
is,
gotta do
man.
that.
Right. My thing is, man, the cleaner your CDL, and it took me a while to learn this too, Rob. It actually took me I want to say about 6 years before got my act together. I'm not even going front. About 6 years, man. I got a ticket 92 and a 70, man, as if 70 wasn't good enough. 92
Right.
and a 70, man. But my thing is the cleaner your CDL, the better your options, period.
Yeah. Like I
Even
could go
even as
anywhere.
a right, even as an owner operator, a lot of people, well, I just get my own authority. Guess what? if you get your own authority, that insurance is going to be bananas if your driving
Yeah.
record is trash. So keep that, you know what I'm saying? Keep that CDL clean, man. The cleaner your CDL, the better your
Yeah, the
options.
better your options are. And I tell people
Right,
too, when you start, just not that you have to, right? But your first year is basically a giveaway year. If
right,
you get lucky and get a good job, then hey, by all praise due. But for the most part, that first year, man, take something for your experience. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Just take something. And then as you build, then you can move. It's stepping stones. Not
right,
everybody get their CDL and immediately get a good job, because we all know a lot of jobs they want 1 year experience, 2 year experience, over the road experience. So you need that even when you're doing local. You know what I
right.
mean? You need some sort of experience. So you just take what you can and just know that it's gonna get better. And
Exactly.
especially if you coming from where you ain't making no money, but even if you get a BS job, you still bringing home $600-700. Like, bro, you wasn't bringing home nothing last week, but now you're worrying
Exactly.
about what the next guy who's been driving 10, 15 years, he's bringing home 1,500. You want to do that? Nah, he earned that because he's been doing it
Exactly.
for a long time. You got to earn your stripes. Like, it's steps. You're not gonna go from level 1 to level 10 in a week, brother. You gotta get that.
Exactly, man. And stop and look at your own situation, man, and stop
Yes,
keeping up with everybody else's pay. I don't know. We do that a lot, and I'm trying to break myself out of it, man. It's a lot of too much gossiping about who make what, who don't make this and that. I think we need to focus on our own situations, man, and
absolutely.
look at the man in the mirror pretty much, man. Look at the
Yeah, cause
man in the
like
mirror,
it's
man.
like, for instance, right? Like, I know this dude, right? And I talk to him, every once in a while, and he's telling me how he's taking another position, right? But he's able to take less money. He's in a great situation because he's able to get less money, still survive, still be comfortable, and if he wants, he can make more money. Like, that's the situation you want to be in. But you have
Exactly.
somebody else that'll be like, "That's dumb. Why would he take less money? I ain't take." Bro, you're working for the same thing. No, it's not that he's taking. It's just that I might make 5 grand less. If you break it down to a weekly, that's probably what, like $50 left a week. It's, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It's because they hit a big number. They think it is what it is. But
Right.
drivers should. That's what you should aim for. So when you don't gotta work as hard. Now you're on a 5 day schedule instead of a 6 or 7, and you can work a 6 day and make extra money if you want, but you don't have to. That's where you want to be at in this trucking game.
Exactly,
But
man.
you got guys, like you said, oh, that's stupid. Like, the thing that's all over the YouTube, at least our little YouTube space,
Right.
leasing this and that. And it's just like, bro, like
It's
I
stupid,
look
man.
at some of these things, and it's no disrespect to drivers. Like, y'all do what the hell y'all want, but some of these dudes, like I said, they got their own authority, but don't got no outside life. You know what I'm saying? Or they got your own authority, but I've been hearing people saying they're gonna park their truck. They're not gonna do this, but you know, you got your own authority, so you could run at a lower cost. This is when you're supposed to be flourishing, because none of this is supposed to be affecting you. But then I hear guys talking about other guys like, oh, but they taking out this much, this much, this much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
okay, so what? If the guy's still making money and he's bringing home a profit, why do you care if he's paying $1,000 a week for a truck or like, why does that matter to you? Like, one
Exactly.
time I was listening, I forgot homeboys thing. I heard a guy, and I had told you, I heard a guy in there talking about, oh yeah, they got the fuel price is cheap over here, blah blah blah. Oh, but I'm not telling nobody. And I'm like, nobody checked
What?
them. Like, dog, like, you know how dumb you sound. Like, you on
Right.
here, and then the guy's on. I'm looking. I clicked off. I'm like, I can't. Like, bro, like, if you, that's what we always like. It's amazing. Like, all these YouTubers that we have around us. You know what I'm saying? Like, order that be in these Zooms, whatever you call this joint. Like, bro, like, the network is crazy. Like,
Mm.
I should be able to call one of them dudes, call you, somebody, yo, What the fuel prices at over there? Like, let's say I'm gonna book a load, but I'm like, yo, you know what? Yo, what fuel prices over there? You should be able to tell me. You know what? I'm gonna take a load over here because it's gonna save me, right? Like for instance, I went to PA last week. I'm not going back to PA. She was
Right.
almost like $6. That's the most I spent on fuel for the week. I'm like, okay, bring my joint down a little bit, but had I've been able to speak to somebody and they told me, yo, stay away from this side, it's extra high. Like we
Right.
can help each other in so many other ways because there's so many of us and we all over the place. But
Exactly, man. It turned into, it seemed like we got a lot of, drivers, but it's more bullshit than business going on. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's okay to
and
bullshit a little
flexing
bit.
and flexing, which is cool.
Right. And
I get it.
flexing. Right. Right. But
Everybody
I
wanna
mean,
everybody wanna up
yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
Everybody wanna up somebody one or up somebody, and which is cool if that's what you want to do. Man, my damn
Yeah.
phone, boy.
Get that phone right, boy. But yeah, everybody want to be the king of the road, man. Everybody want to be the
Yeah,
king of
yeah,
the
like
road. Right. But
everybody
I
wanna
need to,
be.
I mean, Pete, we got to learn because we're grown men. Yeah, we like to have fun, but we're having too much fun. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, it's funny seeing people crack jokes on each other,
Oh yeah, cause
trolling each other.
me, I joke
Right.
all day. I don't care,
Right.
and I could take it. I give
You
it
got to have a
just like
little
I
fun,
take
but
it.
right.
Right.
Well, we got to have some business about ourselves too, man, because y'all in $1 billion industry, and it's probably about, I could think of about 15 people with their own authority. I mean, with their own trucks right now, whether it's authority, or just leased on, lease purchase, whatever. But I mean, you guys need to learn how to network, man, and make something happen, man, and put together a
Yeah,
co-op.
they could be,
A co-op
man.
ain't nothing but an agreement to work together, man. Y'all could put
Right.
one little company together and y'all all could peel from this, from the same freight, man. Make yourselves look bigger and everybody can have a contract, man. But I don't know, man. It's real childish out there, man. That's why I kind of took a step back and kind of looked at it, man. I'm like, I'm indulging in this shit too, man. So, sometimes you gotta check
You
yourself
gotta,
too.
yeah, you gotta take a, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. You gotta take
exactly, man.
a mental break, just like to sit back and look like this what like they always tell you, right? Like you can tell someone by the circle that they're around, right?
Right,
And a lot of us, we've been on these phones for over a year. You know what I'm saying? And even me, like saying we have had conversations, and I'm like, damn, I kind of stayed away from some of the things that I've been doing. You know what I
right,
mean? And it's not like wasting time because sometimes the conversations is good. The
right.
thing is, we get into these conversations, whether it's political, religion, regular conversations about life and all that. Look, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but sometimes we all be on the phone and whatever. Some people think their opinion is definitive the way it should be, and it's not like that in
Right.
life, right? Because my opinion don't mean that I'm right about what I'm saying. It's just my opinion. But you
Right.
mad at me because of my opinion, and you trying to look at me different because you can't look at things objectively. You're looking
Right.
at things just one sided. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And that's the problem with us, just period. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
that's a problem. That's a problem. Why? Because then we start thinking, don't never let someone ever make you think that what you think, the way you think is wrong, because some people are trying to sound a little bit more forceful in what they're saying. Just because you sound more forceful don't mean that
Mm,
what you're saying is correct or
correct.
absolute.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like guys get into these dumbass debates or guys want to be mad. Like I don't understand. Like how can you really truly be mad at someone you never met or this and that? And oh, I understand why because the truth hurts. That's what it is.
Exactly.
The truth
Exactly.
hurts. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
got
and a lot of times, man, I mean, just keep it funky. Most of the people we deal with are truck drivers. And what I find is, even with myself, man, we sit in that truck for so many hours and we come up with so much shit in our head. We come up with so much shit in our head and so many opinions on different things. I mean, we probably can cure cancer going down that road. I done probably came up with so much going down that road with all that time to myself. and I never really had nobody to check me. And I'm pretty sure other truck drivers, I know other truck drivers are dealing with the same thing. They never
Right,
had nobody to check them on their shit because everything, you don't have nobody to disagree with you in that truck. So you can
right.
think of whatever you want to think of, and ain't nobody going to disagree with you.
You're the
But then when
smartest
you
person
start
in
getting
that
a
truck.
little, listen,
Uh-huh.
but when you start getting in circles like our little circle, and then you start hearing different opinions, a lot of people don't know how to take it. You know, they be ready to
Nope.
fight. They think they can,
Yeah.
come at you with some bravado,
And the
and so
funny
they
thing
feel like,
is, right, and the funny thing is, and listen, I've been a part of that too, right? So, I could point the finger at myself at times too.
right,
That just shows how weak of a person you are at times, right? If you
mm,
get to the point where you feel like you really got to do something to somebody because of something they said, you know what I'm
right,
saying? Because look, me, I'll question myself, right? If I say something or get to, I hit you, I even hit DB, like, oh, did I say something wrong? Oh, no, all right, cool. I just want to make sure because
right,
I'm a grown ass man. I have no problem apologizing to someone if I say or do something wrong because
exactly.
I'm not perfect. Because you know me, I say a lot of slick shit out of my mouth. I don't care. And it's not that I
Right,
think I'm a tough guy or I'm not afraid of nobody. It's just because that's just me. I'm Nigga, I
right,
grew up when all we did was snap and say jokes all the time. I don't care who you was, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like it was not no off limits. You could be a nigga next to me and we know you got two bodies, nigga. You still gonna get snapped on. Period. You know what
right,
I'm saying? So I still have that and I get it, but I'm not saying I'm perfect because like I said, I could say you might call me like, yo, Rob, that shit was kinda like foul, you said. Oh, word, you think so? And if I don't think so, I'm like, yo, I don't think so. But if you somebody tell me and I think so, I'm like, you know what, I ain't got a problem, yo, big, yo. I call you back, yo, big, yo, what up, yo? My bad. You know, I ain't mean to
right.
call you, saying super retard in front of, saying your son. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, my bad, nigga. It
Oh,
was a joke,
damn.
nigga. You know what I mean? But and we
Right,
can't do that because we feel that makes us weak when we make a mistake and we can't correct our,
right,
our mistake. Like, come on, man. Like, and that's the whole thing too. This trucking industry, right? Like, you got these lives. There's 10 niggas on there, and all 10 of y'all fucking killers. Come on, man. Everybody in the fucking killer everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, stop
yeah,
it. There's a lot of foot runners out here. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong. Cause I was a foot runner at one time. You know what I'm saying? I moved over up like those. Like, it's okay for us to just be normal and not want to bring our past and bring it to the forefront to make that like a stature of who we are. Like, bro, the most of us, like, we've been in this game for a long time, man. That shit passed us. Like, I can sit there and tell you a bunch of stories, but do it really mean anything? No, nigga, look where
exactly.
I'm at. I'm married with kids. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? And
Right,
like, I send you, a couple of personal things of like my family on, they all
right,
over YouTube. I could tell man niggas, yo, look, that's just but for what? I just did it with you because I know, like me and you always click because there's never no judgment with you. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And it's like, oh look, yep, that's my cousin, and I could run around doing that, but for what? That shit don't mean I
right,
just showed you that just to show you a little history, like think like dogs. But for what? That
right,
shit don't mean that. I could tell a bunch of niggas, do this is this is that that, but nigga, look where I'm at now. I'm still a truck
right.
driver at the end of the
Right,
day. You
right,
know what I'm
right. We
saying? Like,
all exactly, man. We all grown up, man. Now, we grew up, man, and kind of, you probably would have caught me in my 20s. I probably would have bragged a little bit about the streets.
all day.
I would have told you all kind of war stories. I'm not telling no war story. That shit is embarrassing to me. A lot of people they can see it on me because people just ask me, oh, have you ever been to prison? No, I haven't been to prison. Are you from the streets? No, I ain't from the street. But people can see something, but they
Right.
can't put their finger on it. But it's
Right.
something here, man. It's something there. What up, Josh Longino in the house? What's going on, nephew? But
Yeah.
listen, man, trucking is what we do, not who we are. That's my new thing right now. Listen to
Right.
me. Trucking is what we do, not who we are. Rob,
Uh,
talk to me about Forex. Talk to me about cryptocurrency. Talk to me about the stock market, man. Let's get into it, man.
yeah, man. I've been so
Let's
I'll put
start
it
with
to you like
Forex.
this.
Let's start with
No,
Forex.
well, I'm gonna
Okay,
start
well,
with
just
stocks.
tell your story. Tell your
Yeah,
story.
yeah. So I'll start with stocks, right? So the funny thing is, I got introduced to stocks when I was in sixth grade in elementary school. We was in a little tournament, stuff like that. I think I came like in third and fourth, and ever since then, I always had like a little thing for it. So as I got older, when I got locked up. I can't remember this damn dude's name, but he was on a bus with us, and he was going up state, and we was having a conversation about stocks and stuff like that. So when I was locked up, I did a little bit of reading, and I started like gravitating to it. Then when I came home, I worked for a mortgage company. So I used to work downtown on 57th Street and 425 Park Avenue, all the way downtown. I met a guy there who traded. So he started putting me on. So at that company was the first time that I really learned about like 401ks and stuff like that. So me just being me, I started the one few times that I used to read. So I was reading up on it, reading up, put money in it. Then I finally got my CDL, and that's when everything changed. Because all the companies, even back then, had 401ks and shit like
Right.
that. So me, I'm thinking I know shit. I'm like, putting money into it, and I was fortunate enough to. It looked like I froze.
Nah, you there? You good?
Oh yeah, it froze on my side. I'm looking all crazy over there. So um, yeah, so I started like that. Then a friend of mine's, BM, man, he worked at Wall Street. So we started trading penny stocks. Now, a lot of times people think penny stocks are like, 3 cent, 4 cent. But we always, penny stocks back then was stocks under like $5 that was on a certain platform. So we started trading that, little hustling stuff, little side thing. So we'll just take money and we'll flip it. And we hit, I don't want to say lucky because we still did our planning and our studying. So I made some, good money doing that with the stocks. And I just started learning more. I went to go take a test to be a broker. But because I had a felony, I wasn't allowed to take like a certain part of the test. So I'm like, then I'm not going through it. It just didn't make no sense. You know what I mean? So, and ever since then, man, like I said, I just been investing and learning, and I've helped a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like now, I'm just kind of like stagnant when I do that for the most part.
Right. Man. So what drove you to Forex? I like
But
you gonna send me some information on that. I just don't get it, bro.
yeah,
Like
so
what exactly
Forex, what
is it?
happened was, so Forex like 10 years ago, probably 10, 12 years ago, like me just doing studying, to be honest with you, it's just studying the financial market. Because I used to look at CNBC every day. My wife used to be mad. I'm like, I'll go upstairs and watch, So I used to do all of that. And I came across trading oil. So I used to trade oil for about probably like a year, probably 10 months to a year. I used to trade oil. So now, mind you, I was doing this while I was driving trucks, and I did pretty good, man. You know what I'm saying? I was trading stocks, um, trading oil at the same time. So now I'm doing both, and even cats from my building, we'll get together. And I mean, you talking about making a lot of money, like and I won't lie, it has helped me to where I'm at today. Even though I see a lot of things, well, no, everything did pretty much come from trucking because even me being able to have funds to trade came from that. You know what I mean? So then Forex came along and I got into Forex, same thing. But then Forex caught on to like the Facebook, the YouTube, and all that. Now you see Forex everywhere. So many scams came out. And but like I said, like I got guys that I'm cool with that are millionaires, and some people talk, and I hate to say that because I feel like I sound like other cats when they be trying to boost other niggas up, but it's just a fact. Like you know, me, have I made $1 million trading forex? No. Have I made six figures trading forex? Absolutely, yes, I can prove it.
Six
But do I
figures?
have to prove?
Oh man.
Yeah, trading like about 3, 4 years ago. So, um, for now, mind you, you got to think about it. I'm making six figures trading forex, six figures driving a truck. So, but the thing was, the stuff with the forex, I used to save all of that money too. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I didn't really splurge like that all the time. But 2 years ago, I lost a lot of money also. And
Mm.
last year was pretty decent. But the year before last was pretty decent. Last year I only traded for half the year, and then this year now I'm back. Now people always want to learn, and I'm always willing to help people learn. What I tell people is that it could change your life. And I don't care. I would sit there with the best of them. We could sit down, we could talk, we could do numbers when it comes to Forex. If you learn Forex and stuff like that, it will change your life. Period.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I can show improve. You know what I'm saying? I can show numbers if I have to. And some people like even with me, like when I was doing good, people like, yo, so why you still driving the truck? Because everything ain't guaranteed. See, I took a loss also, but I was able to put away a lot of money. So it keeps me ahead of the game. You know what
Right.
I mean? But we need other avenues because a lot of times we don't do this. Like even now, I got a guy who drives trucks. He's like, "Yo, we was on the phone the other day, and he was trying to trade. I was in the truck, and because I trade from the truck. I got my laptop. I open it up when I'm at a shipper. I throw my laptop on. Sometimes, I don't. Like last week, I traded one time. You know,
Mm.
I made some decent money for that one day trading. Like right now, I got a trade that's open. So Monday, Monday when the market opens on Sundays. So I'll see what it do. Like yeah, I'm trying to hit a certain number and stuff like that. But even when I hit those numbers, I don't know because my ultimate goal is to go back trading full time.
Full
I
time.
traded
So
full
so
time
you
a
can
little
actually
bit.
make a live. You think you can actually make a living trading forex?
Hell yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Jeez.
Think about it. Like you can make, and I know people say, well, if you could do that, then why are you not doing it? Because it's not, even though I'm making it sound easy, it's not as easy as it sounds, right? So you can make $500 a day with your eyes closed once you get in a zone, right? I think I sent you. I'm not sure if I sent you my boy when he sent me. I be sending. I think I sent you a couple of things.
Yeah,
I
you
told you
sent
about.
me a
I showed
couple of things, man.
yeah,
It
yeah,
kind of
that my
sparked my
boys they
interest.
be yeah they be antagonizing me, and I showed you they made what like 137,000 in 2 days. Another nigga made 12,000, and they sent it to me like antagonizing me, like look nigga, you know what I mean? And it's cool, but I'm like yo listen, I'm not on your time. You know what I'm saying? But
Right. Have you took
absolutely,
any major losses, man?
yeah, man. Last year and the year
'Cause
before,
that's the
I
only
lost
reason
close to
why I
like
can.
60. I lost
That's the
like
only
60
reason why
grand.
I can imagine you not wanting to get back into it with those numbers. So what did you lose, man?
I lost like 60 grand.
60 grand. Okay. So
Yeah.
so that's what kind of is that that's what's kind of holding you back a little bit, or
Well, not that it's holding me back because I'm still trading. It's just
okay.
that it's just that I don't trade as much. Like last week, I only traded one time. Like last Wednesday, I took a trade. Right, I was good. I made probably like I think close to $1,100 for that one day. I didn't trade no more, except for Friday. I put in a trade, but it was Easter, and I totally forgot that it was Easter Sunday, so the market really didn't move. And then the market closed, so I have a trade in now, and it's just sitting in there. So, but my goal is to trade full time again eventually.
Gotcha.
If I can't do it by the end of this year, hopefully by next year. And I can, and
Gotcha.
honestly, to be honest, I could go take some money and open up a bigger account. But the problem is, I'm trying to build a smaller account
Right.
because it like the thing with forex is, man, it's all about discipline. You know what I'm saying? It's just about discipline. Um, if you could be disciplined, like we used to have this saying. We're not used to because we still have this saying. We have this saying that's called 1K keeps the job away. So basically, you make 1K a day, it keeps the job away. You don't have to work. That's 5 grand a week,
Wow.
and that's on a that's and what's crazy, Bing. That's on a slow. That's like on a slow trading week. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like 1K is, that's just it's just simple. You know what I mean? But the
Right. Right.
problem is the market got so saturated with all these scams that people don't trust. forex. But if anybody, even anybody that's listening to this, they want to get in contact with me and they want to look, I can show them. I
Right.
can show them and show them what's real and what's not in forex. But it's not an easy thing to learn. But it's funny. So it's not that it's not easy to learn. You can learn it. It's just all about being disciplined and focused.
Right.
You know what I'm
'Cause I think
saying?
Forex, you think Forex got a bad rap when the network marketing companies got
Yes.
into it. What was the name of
At,
that company?
the MLM companies.
Yeah, it was MLM
Uh,
companies. They got into it, but that wasn't actually trading Forex. That was something else. I mean, they was
Well,
what was
what
that?
what what it
What
was,
was going on?
it was. So they wasn't necessarily trading, right? They act like they was trading, but you basically was recruiting. Like I'll recruit you to join the team, and then I'm supposed to give you signals. So the signals you take, and you're supposed to make money from trading, but that's not what it is. You're not really making no money from the trading. Like the guys are making money from recruiting. I recruit you, you recruit somebody, and we just all making money. So, and I ain't gonna front. There's a couple of cats in Atlanta right now. You know what I'm saying? That they starting that joint back up. And
Mm,
they hit me like, yo, we want you on our team. I'm like, nah, man, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I said, if we're not gonna teach the people how to really trade, then I don't want to be a part of it. You
right.
know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's the whole thing.
That's one of my red flags, man. If
Yep,
if I got to go recruit people, I don't want no parts of it, man. You know,
absolutely.
real because the
Yep.
product it should be able to stand alone on its own, man. But you know how I feel about cryptocurrency, yo, lazy boy trucking. You right on time, man. Cryptocurrency, man. You know how I feel about it, man. I don't see the value in it in cryptocurrency. I think y'all gonna lose all y'all money. That's just the way I feel about it. I don't
Hey,
see the
hey,
I don't see why these numbers jump. Like they don't produce nothing, they don't make nothing. But these numbers go up and down. You know, they didn't hire a new CEO, they didn't make a new product. There's no reason for these prices to be jumping up and down other than a bunch of rumors and you know what they say with especially with a lot of the meme cryptocurrencies
oh,
like the
the
Shiba
shit
and the
coins and all that or
Dogecoins.
whatever.
You know, just you know, you buy the rumors and sell the news, man. So that's where you want to be. I'm not gonna say you can't make no money in it, but I'm gonna say you know, it's a scam at the end of the day when you're dealing with millions. They don't care if a couple of people made $20,000 here, 10,000 there, 5,000 there, but it's people that's making billions and millions of dollars, you know, on the top end of it. So I think it's a scam. What's your take on it, brother? You've been doing it for a minute.
So it's funny, right? Like I can sit there and break down the forex market to you. I can sit down and break down stocks like inside out with my eyes closed, right? I can't honestly sit here and tell you that I can break down the crypto market like that to you. All I can tell you is that from an investor standpoint, right? That I seen Bitcoin in the beginning. Like when we all first started trading Forex, everybody was on Bitcoin. When it was before it even hit $100. Like, I mean, everybody I was around was on it. So like I can't sit here and tell you. All I can know is that from the information that I know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and one or two of the other coins, they're gonna be here. Now, at the same time, I could be 100% wrong, right? I could be totally wrong on that. But it's funny, right? So I was looking at an article and somebody said something that was amazing. So the government is trying to tax something that they don't own, which is basically what they do a lot of times anyway, because they're trying to
Right,
find a way to tax and to monitor crypto, but yet they don't own it. They have nothing to do with it. So it's like
right,
why they're trying to do that, right? So the government obviously knows something, and they just want their hands in the pot to get money.
right,
See, like
right. Lean
so,
back a little bit, Rob. Lean back a little bit. Your head cut off. There you go. There you go.
Okay, yeah, I can't even see you. That's the funny joint
Yeah,
because
yeah,
my
yeah.
side is frozen. All right, cool.
Yeah, yeah, you
So,
good.
so it's Like when it comes to that, I'm more an investor in that. Like just in Ethereum. I've owned Ethereum. I don't know 5 6 years now. I got a little XRP. I finally bought Bitcoin again after hating Bitcoin because I sold it so soon. Um, Now I will say is that I don't buy the shit coins anymore. I made my money from those coins. It's just it's you got to go through too much with the shit. Like it's just too much. You got to go through too much buying it from one platform, doing this for another platform. Like I'm not doing all that. Like I like my simplicity. Like if it's not simple, it's not easy to do. I don't want no part of it. So I actually
Right.
sold like 6 or 7 of my coins, put it all into Bitcoin, and then the rest I have in Ethereum. And I'm gonna just ride it out, man. I'm just gonna ride it out. I pay attention to the market or whatever, but when it comes to the crypto thing, like I can't sit there and break down everything to you with the cryptos. Like I
Right.
could like Forex, like I could talk about Forex all day, charts, this, that, stocks obviously. But when it comes to crypto, yes, I've been investing in it for a long time, but it's more just from an investor standpoint, like Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I got Litecoin, I got a couple of other ones, but at one point I owned probably 12 to 15 coins, and
Wow.
I just recently sold a lot of them at the end of the year, and but I ain't sell them. I basically just transferred them over to Bitcoin and Ethereum, like 500 here, 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So I have it like in three right now,
Right.
and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I made money on all of the what they call them, the shit coins.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
made money off
yeah,
of all of them, man.
yeah.
And I got to give a shout out to my guy, man, Anthony TV. He's a trucker with he drive for Gordon Foods,
Oh,
and
okay.
he always have to play on a lot of these Shiba, Dogecoin, and that's where I kind of got in early. I don't know what he's plugged into, but I'm gonna go ahead and give him his props, man. That's where I got all of my, I made a little bit of money off of Dogecoin and all of that, but I knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was a
Right.
bunch of
And
hype.
that's the whole thing. A lot of people
Yeah,
get caught up. Like a lot of those, I made great money off them. But you remember me telling you I was out. People think it's gonna
right,
shoot over here and shoot this far. Like, yo, it's how much more further it gotta go for it to hit any of those numbers. Like, that's not happening. That's not gonna, go like that. But like I said, I mean, I got guys now that still trade all of that.
right,
God bless they soul. Like I remember back in the days, we used to say all money ain't good money. You know what I mean?
right.
Like I'm good.
Yeah,
Like it's just too much work, man. I got too many other things I'm trying to
I
do
got you.
to be trying to get in and out of those coins. Cause that's
Right,
how you really make money in those coins. You got to be in and out. You know what I'm
right.
saying? You got to be in and out to make money with those coins. But there's people that do it, man. There's people
Right.
that's definitely doing it, absolutely doing it
But you know,
100%.
my thing is, man, soon as them coins start to go up, if cryptocurrency is so important, why do people cash out? That's my whole thing. You know how I feel about it,
But
man.
but but see but
Why
see
would
you
you
say that right,
why would you
but
turn it
but
back
big
into regular
but
cash though? If crypto is so
but you
important, why
say
would
that
you convert it back to
but
the US dollar, man? It doesn't make sense to me, man.
because they take in their profit, just like when you buy a stock, right? It's like why would you sell the stock if you like the stock so much?
Nah,
Because you're
but
trying to
but
take profit off the table.
you're investing in a U.S. company, and then you're gonna get a U.S. dollar back. But if cryptocurrency is supposed to be so important, why would you sell it after you got so many of them so early? Because you don't. Because I don't think people have faith in it. People know. I think this is just my opinion. Now
I
I
think
will
people
say
just
put
sell it
some
because
money
they
in
made
it.
money. I think people sell it because they made money. Because I know me,
Right?
like when I get rid of my
Yeah,
coins, I because I'm up, or if I just want to sell it because I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just sell this. Like, you know what, I'm done. I just think
so
people sell it because think about it. You got to think about it, man. The government is trying to get their hands all over it, so it
mm,
has to be something. And you know as well as I know that the government ain't trying to put their hands in nothing that they don't think they can make money from.
yeah, because look how much money is in it. Look at the caps. You know what I'm saying? Look
Right,
at the market capitalization of
right.
cryptos and even the shit coins. I mean, it's a
Right.
lot of trillions and billions of
Yeah,
dollars in,
billions of
you know,
dollars.
there's real money in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. See, your
You know,
problem is you can't get over the fact that it's just a digital currency. Like where y'all putting what like it's like you're putting your money into nothing. See, that's your biggest thing. It's like, yo, what
right,
are y'all putting? It's not a company. It's not this. It's not that. Like, what are y'all putting your money into? And I get it. A lot of people think like that. You're not the only person that thinks like that. There's a lot of people that think like that.
right. You know, my thing is how to, with Bitcoin, the only reason why it went up to as high as it did is because Elon Musk pumped it up so much. And that's why Bitcoin went up. Like it didn't go up because they invented anything, they did anything fantastic or, that's gonna make a profit. He just pumped a bunch of money into it and it went up. So
Right.
man, everybody got their own opinions, but I will say, get with an advisor before you make any kind of investment. I
Yeah.
think you got an opinion on that, but you definitely want to get with a professional or some kind of financial person. If you got extra money to spend, put it into the stock market, crypto, forex, whatever, man. But get with a professional, man, and let them, guide you with that. But Rob,
Right.
man, I appreciate you stopping by the All Zone Den show, man. We've been
Oh
trying to
yeah,
do
no
this
doubt.
for
All,
minutes,
all,
man.
all the time, man. All I can say, man, is that I tell people all the time, man. Do what works for you, man. Don't worry about what the other people is, man. When people start paying your bills, then you start worrying about what other people think about what you're doing for yourself, man.
Facts, man. Yo, God bless, man. Enjoy your weekend, man. And like I said, man, thanks for stopping by the show, man.
No problem. I'll be back out tomorrow. We'll get up.
All right, peace. Yo, that's the All Zone Den show, man. We had the homie Raw BX, man, stop by the All Zone Den show. And I thought it was a pretty good interview, man. But till next time, man, it's time to go eat me some dinner. And I'll holler at y'all next week. Peace.